When you told us about seeing that creature stalking your daughter's cat pretty close to the wood line, you said that its back legs looked funny. What was so strange about them?
They had the dog-like part to them, but they were just at a weird angle, I guess. Like they hung out behind the body further than other four-legged animals, especially the bottom part. Like the feet, it was almost like it was standing on its tiptoes type deal, which I didn't get to see very good, but I just remember kind of like focusing on the back legs for a minute for some reason, because it always seemed like it was like moving deeper to conceal its face and then it's creeping up behind stuff. Just the way it moved was really strange. Yeah, the legs were strange. I remember seeing the back legs, and they were furry, but I could see. It's hard to explain how these legs look to me, really. And I don't remember any tail. But it was thin in that area, and it just got thicker, way thicker in the leg area. It's hard for me to explain the legs to you, but I really did look at them good, but I don't know how to explain them to you. And the front area was moving really gracefully, but it was like it was picking up his hand and dropping it at the last second, which I didn't see his hands real good because they were on the ground. This is ground level, but I could see down its arms and stuff, coming through the trees. And yeah, it had arms. It didn't look like a dog's legs. I mean, they were kind of like that, but no, not really. No, no, it was, especially from the side, it was wide. I don't know. That's what I seen. It was broad daylight. It was broad daylight, man. About 11 o'clock, 11:30. Broad daylight over here. There was hardly any leaves on the trees. I was able to see through there a good bit. There's still some here and there, and there's, the evergreens out here too, But, yeah, I got a good view of them. As I was walking up closer, I think so much stuff was going through my mind, I couldn't focus on the details as much anymore, because I was kind of coming with terms in my head that this is a dog, man. As I'm walking up towards it, and then I felt like my evaluation of what was really right in front of me kind of like broke down on me to the point where I was just in my head so much where I turned around, and left. I think I was trying to control my emotions for some reason. I think I was really trying to control how I felt. And when I started to feel some type of fear, I just turned around and left.
Well, I don't think anyone can fault you for turning around and getting the heck out of there. I think almost anyone would have. But what I'm wondering about, though, is you said your first impression of it when you saw it at first was that of a giant, monstrous canine. How would you describe its ears again?
The ears were like, I'm not going to say short, because I couldn't really tell where they started at, because the hair was really long around that area. But they were up there. Like, you didn't see them that much because, I seen them a few times. They're pretty close together, man. They're not really like a normal dog. But this thing, this what it was. It looked like a giant dog, like a super giant dog. 10 foot long, 5 foot tall, and wide in the front area. It looked like a monster. It really did. And as I was trying to pick out details on it, is when I started to put together that this is one of them dog men. Like I got the impression of a dog, but like I told you, like its movement and behaviors were a little strange, in the back legs. That's what it was. So it threw me, because when I first seen it coming up, that's exactly what I thought was like. First, I thought it was a group of dogs, and then a bear. And like I said, I'm trying to process this in my mind. This is just trying to give you my train of thought, because I was confused when I seen it. I really didn't know what to think, and I've done watched Dogman encounters. At this time, I'd already heard of them, but I didn't put it together at first. So I started, creeping up on it, and I said, yeah, that's And at that point, I kind of like shut down the whole searching for details on it process, but I seen a good bit walking up on it. And, I'm trying to remember the best I can. I've never seen both ears at once. It was just weird how it would pull back and come back. Like I watched it and moved up on it for, like I said, I seen it coming up, going down a little ways. They're coming up to me. And the angle I'm at, from where I'm standing at now, I just couldn't see. Because by the time they got up to a certain point, I could move in out of their line of view. I watched them come up the hill to where I could see more details. Then I advanced because I knew this was a super predator, a monster stalking the cat. Because like I said, it was stalking. It didn't move like no bear or no dog. It kind of moved like a dog, but it was different. It was, and it was, like I said, massive, huge, massively huge, and way too long. Way too long. I don't really get that, how long it was. And like I said, when I turned around, I looked back a couple of times, and it was like it's kind of like it blurred off, and the shape kind of got darker and changed a little bit. It was like maybe it stood up, and I just didn't look at it stand up good. That's kind of what I'm thinking it did, because it went from being a long thing, kind of close, just kind of peeling back a little bit. Finna be up behind my trailer, actually, where I live at right now, where I'm standing at right now. Finna be on the back side of it. But at this point, I'm headed back to my mama's, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And like I said, I don't blame you at all. And this sounds like it must have been a huge specimen. It was down on all fours, but if you had to guess, how much do you think it weighed?
Oh, 400 pounds. 400 pounds. 500 pounds. I don't know, because I'll say deer way less than they do. So I'm probably, I would hate to say that I'm underdoing it, but I would say around the 400-pound area. Well, say if you took one of them bull mastiffs, huh? Like if you took a giant specimen of a bull mastiff, wonder about how much that would weigh. I would say about 200 pounds, right? At the tops, maybe 250, right? Do I sound about right on that?
For a bull mastiff, they normally top out around 175-ish at the biggest.
Okay. All right. So if a big bull mastiff is 175, this thing is about 375, about 400 pounds. Yeah. I think I'm still around the same right area, actually. Because I really wanted to say right at 200 on the bull mastiff at first. But we're talking about, say, a giant specimen of a bull. So you say, oh, that's a big dog. Yeah, about 200 pounds, right? So, yeah, this thing was at least just a little more than twice the size of one of those. It was huge. It was huge and wide. And I didn't get to see the width of it too much, but when it was coming up, I could see how wide it was. And then it changed direction, kind of, weaved through there a little bit. And I took my eyes off of it a couple of times as I was moving up to get closer, because I was actually trying to stay out of the line of view. You hear me?
Oh, I don't blame you at all for wanting to stay out of its line of sight. Just thank goodness you were there to intervene and you kept it from getting its paws or claws on your daughter's cat. Thank goodness.
I wish I could tell you more about the hands, but I'm not really sure, because there's weeds and stuff, or pine straw and stuff like that on the ground. And I don't really feel like it had paws, but I can't say for certain because I didn't really see the hands. Like, yeah, I can't really tell you that I seen the hands good. I can tell you that they didn't look like it wasn't regular. I didn't see no paws on it neither. And if I was guessing, there wasn't no paws on it. That's all I can say. I didn't see them. But I don't know. I could kind of see like a finesse on the end of its front body. It was like a finesse to its step. Like it wasn't like it was stepping. It was more like it was touching or crawling or creeping. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can say. But I didn't really get to see the hands good.
Well, that's an extremely traumatic experience, so no one can fault you for not picking out every last detail about that thing, so yeah, no harm, no foul.
Like I said, the processing on seeing this thing took about literally 7, 8 seconds in my mind. And I've already started moving towards it by the time I figured it out. But by the time I said, man, this is a freaking dog, man, ain't it? Wow. But, I haven't heard of any brown ones, or I wouldn't even know if you call this one thing brown, but, I hadn't heard any of those. It just took me a minute to kind of put it together. And when I did, I'm headed that way. And even though I did, I didn't want to stop. But after I said, oh, crap, this is a dog, man, you're right. I stopped being able to process information and details on it. I kind of feel like at that point I was like, that's too deep in maybe thought and concern for the cat or something.
You're a good man for doing that. Most people wouldn't have. Well, I'll tell you what, Eric, it's about time for us to get out of here. But before we do you have any closing comments you'd like to share?
I can sympathize with a lot of folks that have seen something and been through some stuff that nobody will listen to and believe. I seen a big shadow guy one time in my room when I was little, and my own mother didn't believe me on it and knocked stuff down in the closet. And you don't have nobody to talk to about it. I sympathize with you, and I sympathize with this show. I really enjoyed listening to y'all's encounters, and I hope you never feel like you're crazy or you get upset if somebody don't believe you. Seeing is believing, and there's so much out there where we don't know about, and they don't want to find it. They don't want us to know the truth. They're doing everything in their power to keep it from us, and I just want y'all to know that I hope that you're safe and protected, and to be aware, especially in the wood areas and stuff. You got to be aware of your surroundings, and God bless everybody.
You're a good man, Eric. I hope you never change.
Thank you. You too, Vic. I really enjoy what you do. And like I told you, I found your show maybe 6 months ago or something like that. And man, I've enjoyed it. I've done much about all of them, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'm so glad you found it and you like it the way you do. So, yeah, that's a great thing.
Well, obsessed might be an understatement, after I seen this thing.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, I'm sure that did sour you on the whole Dogman thing. Most people would have been soured.
I was already super interested in Dogman and watching your videos and stuff before I seen them. And then after that, the fright comes with it, but at the same time, it's an obsession. I have to know everything I can know about this thing. I want to, because it's just out here, you know what I mean? Probably looking at me now. This fog coming off the creek, coming on up the hills. Couldn't see nothing coming up, man. My dogs are just standing over there on the hill, just looking out. When I go inside, they go up under my house, or they go over there to my mama's house and sit up on the porch. And I can remember them being scared all the time, where they would whine and stuff, and they done shoot holes under the vinyl in my mama's house to get up under there and stuff. And where we've had to let them in, and I'm like, man, what's wrong with these dogs? And they don't do that all the time. They run around, they run stuff out here. You know what I mean? And no, sometimes they do not want to freaking be out here. They do not. They'll come to my door and cry and stuff like that,
Well, I hope you let those dogs spend the night inside with you tonight, because I don't blame them for not wanting to be outside.
Yeah, I like to keep them outside because then, they can let me know. They can let me know, but most of the time they end up staying in my house. They do.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing the details of those experiences with us, Eric. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I live to tell the truth. I do.
You're a good man. That's how it should be. Having said that, thanks again so much for your time, and have a great night.